Guys, so today we are going to be testing out a dupe for the Artis oval brushes and we're going to see how they perform. I don't have very high hopes, but there's no harm in trying, so that's what we're going to do today. So yeah, if you want to see how these brushes perform, then just keep on watching. So I just took them out of the box and this is what they look like. They are by Glam&Beauty. Okay, so there is a powder brush, concealer, blush, contour, and eyeshadow, and there's not actually a foundation brush. What I thought I would do is actually just use this one for foundation and this one for powder, and then I could just dust it off and use it for blush as well. So yeah. And then also this little teeny tiny one right here, it says eyeshadow brush, but I don't really know what I could do. So I think I might just clean up my brows with that and kind of see how it works. Test it out that way. Right off the bat, they are extremely cheap feeling, super plasticky, very flimsy, but they're extremely soft, really soft. But I already noticed a few hairs coming out, so yeah. I don't know, like if you notice, like when I push it against my face, I feel like it's not gonna really hold up, and I feel like these would not last very long. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and prime my face, just get that out of the way. I'm gonna use the One Heck of a Blot primer from Soap and Glory. Okay, so I'm just gonna take my Kat Von D Lock-It foundation on just a glass plate. I'm gonna go ahead and just dip in with the powder brush that we are using for foundation, and I'm gonna go ahead and see how this applies. I'm going to zoom y'all in a little bit closer so you can see. Okay, so now that you are zoomed in, I have this on my brush and I'm ready to go. It's extremely flimsy. Like when I push it against my face, I don't know if you can really tell, but it's like it just bends. Like it doesn't hold up, which is it's really a downfall, because you really kind of want your foundation brush not to really push back against your face. Like you want to kind of hold up. It's kind of hard to tell. Like the finish actually isn't terrible. It's not the worst brush I think I've ever used. I definitely noticed too that like little bitty hairs are like coming out as I'm like trying to use it. I don't know if you can notice, but yeah. Little hairs are coming out as I'm like trying to use it. It's extremely soft though, which is I was a little bit surprised by how soft it was. I didn't really expect it to be that soft. It's still pretty streaky though, like it's smoother than what I thought it would be, but it's pretty streaky. I feel like there's a few brushes I have that could do a little bit of a better job. I'm going to try like a patting motion to see if that would maybe help. So that is it for foundation. I'm going to see if I can zoom you in a little bit more and maybe you can kind of see what I mean by how it looks. It's actually pretty smooth though. After patting it in, it actually looks pretty smooth. Okay, so this is what it looks like on my skin. It's actually pretty smooth. It's a lot better than what I was expecting. I just realized after I did my concealer that I was not recording, so I will recap for you. I put it on with this brush, but like every time I would put it down, it would just leave its little marks. Well, it's actually working pretty good on my hand. Every time I would like lay it down, it would kind of leave little like marks. So I laid it down with this. Actually blending pretty good. So I just blended it on my hand. It's kind of hard to see, but like when you do it like a circular motion, it actually makes it look streaky, but once you kind of go back over it, more like straight lines, and like with a light hand, it actually is not streaky at all. So I actually opted out of this one because I thought that it would be streaky the way I was applying it. So then I just blended it out with this, and it actually did a pretty good job. I'm kind of impressed because it's looking kind of smooth. So I'm going to go ahead with the brush that's for blush, but I'm going to use it for powder. Put some powder on it, and I'm just going to set under my eyes. The blush brush right here is actually a lot more dense than the original, the powder brush. I don't think I would actually enjoy that for blush because I think it would lay the product down and not really help you blend it out. I will still try it, but I really don't have a good feeling about this brush for that specific reason. I'm actually going to try a cream contour today because I think this brush actually would work better with that. I'm using the NYX Wonder Stick in light medium, and I'm just going to put that on the brush a little bit. Okay, so now that I've laid the product down, I'm going to go back and try to blend it. Honestly, all this is doing is just picking my foundation up. I don't know if it's because the foundation is matte, so it kind of set already. I'm just blending that out with the big brush. That little one is just pulling up all of the product. Okay, so that was kind of a fail. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and powder the rest of my face just with this blush brush and my powder, my translucent powder. I don't want to rub because I think that's going to pull all the product up, so I'm just patting. So I've dusted off this brush and I'm going to actually use it for blush this time, and I'm going to go in with Coralista from Benefit. I'm really going to tap it off because it's super dense and I'm really scared that it's going to like just put that right there and not let me really move it around. Kind of hurts whenever I hit my cheek with it, to be honest. Like the actual bristles are pretty soft, but like whenever I'm patting it on my cheek, it actually kind of hurts. Okay, so this one right here is the eyeshadow brush, and I just really don't see what it could be used for. I don't think it would be good to blend. It's not fluffy, it's not wide, it's very, very narrow, so the only thing I could think would be like if you're trying to smudge out your lash line. That's the only thing I could think to use this for, and that's not going to work for me. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my brows on, and then I think I'm going to try to clean it up with this brush and a little bit of concealer. So hold tight, I'll be right back. Okay, so I just kind of messily put a brow on just to get something there so I have something to clean up. I'm going to go in just with my foundation to clean those up, and we're going to see how this brush holds up. For the brows, I would say it's not that bad. It's not like, it's kind of streaky a little bit, but I don't think it would be something that would be like a deal breaker because all you have to do, like I really like the way this one is shaped because you can like do like this and then just kind of drag it up to kind of blend it out. I like that part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup and I'll come back with my final thoughts. Okay, so I just went ahead and threw on a little bit of eyeshadow and mascara just so we can get to my final review and everything like that. So I'm just going to go over each brush and kind of talk about what I think, and then I'll tell you overall if I think you should purchase or if I think it's worth the money. So the first brush that I used was the powder brush that I used for foundation. I don't know, it's really flimsy, and they all seem to be that way. The shorter ones, not so much, but especially like the longer ones like this are extremely flimsy. So I would say the foundation brush, the way it applied is a lot smoother than I thought it would be, and I definitely would go out in public with it being like this. I'm not really mad at the actual powder brush that I used for foundation, but I don't think I would use this for powder. I mean, you could. It's a lot better than the one that I used for powder because it's less dense, but I don't know. I just think I think I would personally prefer to stick with this one for foundation. And like I said, like there are little bitty hairs like trying to come out, so keep that in mind as well. The next brush that I used was the concealer brush. I opted to just put it on with this one and blend it out with my foundation brush, but I'm definitely going to try it again and just see if it blends out just concealer by itself like a lot better than I thought it would, because it really surprised me on the back of my hand. So Hopefully that made sense. But yeah, next brush I used was the blush brush, but I use it for powder first. And for powder, I mean, it was okay. It didn't do anything crazy, but it was really dense, and I don't think that's really what you want to put on powder. I usually put powder on with a sponge under my eyes and on my T-zone, and the rest just lightly dust it around my face. All the bristles of these are really soft, but I would say like actually like putting it on your face and like patting it out is actually like kind of felt like super hard and kind of hurt. So I would say for powder it wasn't terrible. For blush, I really didn't care for it. Like I said, it was hurting, and when you swipe, I was afraid it would like swipe away my product because it was so dense. So I just threw it on the ground on accident. Anyway, we're done with that one. So next I'm going to talk about the contour brush. I would forego the contour brush. Maybe with powder you might like it, but it's just a little bit too thin for what I like. I usually use my brush like this for contour because I can kind of get in there and blend it out, and I don't really feel like I have to worry about harsh lines, but this one I feel like I did. So I don't know, it was okay. Maybe if I had it over top of foundation that didn't dry down, maybe it wouldn't have taken away my foundation, but I just didn't really appreciate that. So I'm not a fan of the contour brush. Next, I would say the eyeshadow brush. I do not know who on God's green earth would use this for eyeshadow. That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's very, unless you're trying to do like a cut crease, but then I don't know why anyone would use it for eyeshadow. But to clean up my brows, I really enjoyed it. I probably will use it again. It did feel like I was using a toothbrush on my brows, but it's okay. I just think it really let you get around there, and the long handle and the way that it's angled just really, I don't know, it worked really well. So I do enjoy this brush, but I would never recommend it for eyeshadow. Okay, so that was like what I thought about each individual brush. Overall, I would say I liked about half of them. Okay, so I just realized at the end of my video that I didn't have any lip product on, so I just threw on some gloss. So overall, I would say like for $10, it's not necessarily something you need, but if you just want to try some new stuff, and I think it would be worth it, because I really did enjoy those two, and I've got to test out the concealer brush. But yeah, I'd say if you just want to test out something fun, see if it works for you, I would say go for it. But you don't necessarily need these brushes. It's not something that I would say if you don't have it in your collection you're missing out. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with them. I don't hate them, I don't love them. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.